It's Sunday morning, and every decent man and woman is listening to Test Miles with Nick Miles on FM News 101 KXL. Buckle in.
It's Sunday morning and time to talk cars for the next 60 minutes on your weekend automotive experience. I'm Nick Miles and you're listening to America's Automotive Radio Show. Test Miles, locally created, nationally celebrated. This morning's team includes misfits, rapscallions and ne'er-do-wells, and they're all in the studio. So we'd like to start the show off with talking about some of the vehicles that we've been test driving over the last week or so, maybe several weeks. I have been driving the Toyota Avalon. An interesting car. You think when you look at the Toyota lineup that the Camry is the final car in the lineup, but there is one larger, the Avalon. It's about the same size as a GS from the Lexus family. A four-door sedan, quite upscale. It has a nice interior, plenty of room, of course, bigger than the Camry. Her front and rear is well designed. It's a large trunk space, about average or better than average fuel economy. Here's some interesting things about this car. It seems like if you go out of a Camry, you would want to go into a Lexus if you're going to stay within the Toyota brand. So it doesn't seem a natural progression. But there are those people that want to get into the Avalon who don't want to be in a luxury car, even though I could put a Lexus badge on it today and you'd have no clue that it was actually a Toyota. The Avalon is well designed with lots of those nice high-end accoutrements, high quality, very firm, clean, well put together Toyota. The problem? It's not inspired with it's not an inspiring car. I don't sit there going, when I make my first $1 million, I'm going to run out and buy an Avalon.
So should they rebrand it like the Hyundai Genesis with a different logo on the front? Or do they already have that with the Lexus?
I mean, I don't know what the goal is with this car. It seems to be that I'm not quite sure where they're going. It's great in every way, don't get me wrong, but it's just not an inspiring car.
We have somebody at work. It's a perfect vehicle for them. They needed something a little bigger than the Camry. Didn't want to spend on a Lexus, but they're also 60 years old.
Right. So is that maybe that's the average Avalon buyer. It's a 3.5 litre V6 engine, 268 horsepower, 6-speed automatic, front-wheel drive. Does about 24 miles a gallon combined, so we're looking at 21 in the city, 31 on the highway. I am a lead-foot driver, so I didn't get anywhere close to that fuel economy out of it. What is its competition? Well, its competition is the Taurus, the Impala, the Dodge Challenger, maybe, the Kia Cadenza, which is probably its closest rival, the Chrysler 300 and the Hyundai Genesis, again, probably its closest rival. It has lots of trim levels and lots of extras you can get in it, including a hybrid version. It also has touring and all the extra bits and bobs. Now, this is the surprising thing about the car, $32,000, $286 starting price, which when I start pricing out a top-of-the-range Kia Optima, it comes to about the same price, maybe $34,000. So starting price is actually very reasonable. Also, been driving something which is the next stage up from that, and in the family member as well, the Lexus LS460 F Sport. Sean has had this car in the past. He didn't like the engine in it, although I actually think it's a great improvement on the regular LS460. Full-size, four-door sedan, really luxurious, really quiet, very smooth ride. It's just well put together. It's a really great car. It's not a performance vehicle. But if you're looking for a performance vehicle, you're not going to get it.
Oh, and that's what I'm saying about it. I mean, to me, when you have the F Sport badge on it, it should be performance and just not some ground effects and a spoiler.
No, but it does have a better performance. It's retuned from the regular LS. If you drive them back to back, you will be surprised on how much more dynamic this engine is.
And I understand that, but still, I feel with the F Sport badge, you're also paying that kind of money. There should be more wow factor to it.
The difficulty is, do you match it against other vehicles in its class that are performance vehicles, like the XJ performance version, or do you match it against the LS, the regular LS, and see the step up? Because if you match it against the regular LS and see the step up, it's quite significant. If you match it against AMGs or Ms, you're not going to get anywhere close to it. So I kind of hear what you're saying, but I don't think that's what Lexus were going for. 4.6 V8 engine, 386 horsepower, 8-speed automatic. This vehicle has either rear-wheel or all-wheel drive. I think the rear-wheel drive gas fuel economy is, they say combined is 19%. I think that's ambitious. 24 on the highway, 18 for the all-wheel drive, and 23 on the highway. What is its competition? Again, difficult to say, but if you look against Mercedes S-Class or Audi A8, BMW 7 Series, or the Jaguar XJ, you might be sadly disappointed. This one that I'm driving is about $88,000, which is significantly less than its competition. And you do get less performance. However, it does start at $80,870, Sean.
I've been driving the Mazda 6, and basically this is not a refresh, but a new design for Mazda. They've changed it. The exterior styling on it is just awesome compared to some of their older body styles. It doesn't have that big grille smiling at you now. It actually, in its against the competitors, which is the Toyota Camry, the Honda Accord, Kia Optima, is probably one of the best handling cars out there and the most fun to drive. Drives kind of like the Miata, because Mazda has that whole zoom, or I know they don't say that anymore, but they inspire everything to drive exactly like the Miata. Some of the things I liked about it is this one had a black and white interior. The white leather is just beautiful. I think every car should have that. And granted, I don't have kids and I don't want kids, and that's why white interiors are great. But so they has all this tech in it. What?
Nope.
Sorry. It has great tech in it. It has a heads-up display, little screen that pops up off the dash versus a hologram that goes into the window. So you don't get a lot of glare from the road or sun. It's easy to see. You can customize the display screen, and there's only 7 icons on there because that's what you can physically see. And it's just, everything's easy to find at the touch of right at the touch of your fingertips. Car's awesome. You get 40 miles to the gallon with their Sky Active.
I did list this as probably the best buy in the mid-size sedans. I think it's just for the price and what you get, the driving experience. The only thing I would tell you a downside for Mazda is I think their interiors need a little bit of an injection of love, and maybe the tech somewhat, but they are fairly tech savvy in a plain way, but they're not doing lots of advanced tech inside vehicles.
There's still a lot of advanced tech. They have the adaptive radar control in there. They have adaptive steering. It doesn't scream out at you like a lot of the other competitors.
Right, and I'm mostly talking about things like Bluetooth, pairing your phone and being able to use all those type of apps. Mazda are about half a step behind everybody else.
True, I'll give you that, but I enjoy this car. It's one of the best cars out there.
I think it's the best car for the money in the class. Brad, what have you been driving?
So unlike Sean, I do have children. So when I got the opportunity...
Can you count your children on both hands?
I need my toes. That's why I wear flip-flops. I got the opportunity, which I knew was going to cost me in the long run, to drive the 2015 Sedona minivan.
Right.
Big minivan love here, you know that. And it was...
Just because you're old.
It's because I'm practical.
And
my wife loves the sliding doors.
When did you give your man card up?
Years ago, clearly.
Our first show.
Yeah.
But you know what? You take this to a Starbucks in the suburbs, and you have the push-button sliding doors and the reclining second-row seats with the footrests that recline, and the kids can sit in their car seats and watch a movie for a 4-hour drive over to Brasada Ranch in Bend. You're actually pretty cool.
I'm absolutely in love with this vehicle. It's amazing.
I do too. And what I did like is that it has the styling that's not the box on wheels. It's got a little crossover look to it, so it has some styling. The interior really sold me. It has all the seats that fold down, so I had a ton of space in the back, and like I talked about, the reclining seats with the footrest for the kids was spectacular. And then an interesting center console that allowed you to store a lot of things. Ergonomics on this vehicle, everything just fit beautifully, and it drove more like a car for me. I got 24.4 miles to the gallon on the trip over the mountains to Bend, and I found their Uvo system the easiest.
I can't agree with you more there.
I loved it. It just, everything was so simplistic for me. It just synced up very easily and was fun. But they do have some cool features with this vehicle and some e-services with this next-gen Uvo. You can do geofencing, speed alert, curfew alert, and a driving score. So you can track. Honestly,
what teenager is going to be driving a minivan?
If that's, they're going to be schlepping around their friends.
I'll be taken by Razor scooter, probably, if I was a teenager.
Give kids, but it ranges from $24,900 to $40,000. And it's only got about 3 competitors, the Chrysler, Toyota, and the Honda.
Right.
So short of the vacuum in the back like the Honda does.
Right. There will be a new Chrysler this year, but it's probably one of the best minivans on the market. Absolutely for me. I absolutely agree with you.
And then the downsize was when I had to give it back, and I think I ended up with the Soul EV and its replacement. My wife wasn't as happy with that vehicle.
Oh, dear.
No sliding doors.
Oh, dear. You're in trouble. All right, that's our car reviews for this week. Taking a look. You can always go to testmiles.com, find out some of the vehicles that we've featured on TV. Coming up, it's spring. It's time to refresh your car. We're going to talk about giving your car a makeover and not necessarily buying a new one. Getting it wrapped, getting the inside taken care of, maybe a new stereo system. As Test Miles continues on FM News 101 KXL, I'm Nick Miles.
It's Test Miles on FM News 101. Test Miles, like NASCAR, but with one right turn. TestMiles.com.
Welcome back to Test Miles at FM News 101 KXL, Portland's automotive radio show, live from our studios in downtown Portland. And for the latest automotive news, follow us at Test Miles on Twitter.
Hey, Nick, here's a fun fact with which you can impress your friends. Alfa Romeos, their famous red cross and snake that adorn the badge, they were symbols that were part of the emblems of the city of Milan and the Visconti family.
And did you know, actually, as a sub to your fact, that the snake is eating the man? I know if you look at the Alfa Romeo badge.
Somewhat biblical, isn't it?
Yeah, it's the snake is eating the man. And snake was the sign for medicine. So we could talk about this for a whole show.
Does that have an antibiotics kind of thing, too?
Yeah, I don't know. I think they used to use snake bites to cure certain things. And Alfa Romeo does cure my need for speed. So I'm not sure where that goes. Spring is here, and it's time to freshen up your car, truck, or SUV. Maybe that is simply by taking it to a local car wash, or maybe your car is smothered in fast food wrappers, juice and grape jelly smeared into the seats, and quite honestly, a deep detail will not make it look much better. Well, today on Test Miles, we're going to talk about giving your car a spring makeover. And that spring makeover is going to be walked through with us by Peter Clover here from Mobile West, and Mike Harden is here from Battleground or BG Printing. Welcome to the show, guys. So, Peter, let's start with you. Let's talk about freshening up your car. What is the smallest job that you can do to repair the upholstery in your car? Where do you start? I mean, can you do little dings in the seat, or how does it work?
Yeah, if you've got either a little tear in, or you've got the sewing coming apart, or if you've got a little perforation in one of the panels, you can start from just freshening up that way to...
How is it to match the color? So let's say I have a Lexus and I want to match the color in the seat. Are you going to be able to match a color of a Lexus that's 3 or 4 years old, or are you going to have to put a whole new panel in?
We can do... It depends on how good we want it to be. I can either order up a section of factory Lexus leather to seam in a new panel if we want to get exact. Or, there are a lot of shades that are close. Or we can do just a basic job, seam it in with the panel, and have it dyed to match.
Now, what we could do is just be like my mother and actually stick car seats on the car the day you buy it, and then they'll look the same when afterwards. But it doesn't always look good to have those like non-factory car seats, covers on the seats. How much is, say, a little repair going to cost? Are we talking about hundreds of dollars? Where are we talking where you can start financially?
Oh, yeah. $150, $200.
Right.
But that really freshens up the car. I mean,
right.
It's one of those things that you touch it and feel it and go, yeah, my car's no longer broke. Thank you.
So what on the other end of the scale? Let's say I wanted to do a couple of front seats. There's some rips, there's some tears. I know especially in older SUVs, one of the things is people climbing in and out of the cars, and maybe the lever is on the side for the car seat, and it gets dug into the seat, and they rip there. The seats get worn, they get tattered. So let's replacing a couple of seats in a vehicle, $500, maybe more than that?
Well, it depends if you're going to do vinyl or you're going to do leather. If you're going to do just the 2 front seats in a car in a factory match pattern and color, new seat cover is installed. And usually when we do that, we're also going to refresh the foams, add some bolstering, make the texture and feel and density of the foams fit your body better, you're going to be somewhere in the, say, $600 to $1,000 range.
Right, and it's probably worth it because to go and buy 2 brand new seats for the car is, a fortune. And plus you can get...
2 used seats out of it. 2 used leather seats out of a junkyard are more than $1,000.
Right. So and then you can go anywhere and choose custom materials on the inside too.
Oh, absolutely.
You get some wacky decisions. People want wacky colors.
You know what? It's your car. You want what you want.
There's no wrong answer.
There is no wrong answer.
Right.
You know what? I may be a guy that likes black leather with black perforations, and Project Discovery's got racing stripes.
Right.
Everybody's different.
You ever seen anyone do like lime green on the inside of their car?
Yeah, actually,
It's sacrilegious.
No, it depends on the car, right? Yes, you're not going to do that in a 2005 Lexus, but your 75 Impala, that makes a lot of sense.
It does.
Well,
there's
cultural. Different car guys. Some guys like classics. Some guys like hot rods. Some guys like performance cars. Some guys like exotics. They're all car guys.
All right, Sean, you have a question?
I actually seen a Rolls-Royce Phantom of custom green lime interior.
No, it's not true.
I did. I have a picture of it. It was the most horrible thing I've ever seen.
I can say at least money doesn't buy taste.
And you should have seen this guy coming up with his shirt buttoned up to his belly button and probably like 600 gold chains.
Oh, dear. Again, money doesn't buy taste. So you can really run the gamut.
Yeah.
And then headliners, all those sort of things too.
Oh, absolutely. We've got a Lexus SC in the shop right now, where was original black car, but he saw some pictures of late model cars at Detroit Auto Show of some of the exotic cars, and so we're doing a oxblood red leather with black overstitching, and it's gorgeous.
Really?
It suits the car so well. You wouldn't even think about it until you stop by and touch it and feel it and just go, oh my God, that's gorgeous.
I kind of want to see that now too. All right, let's...
Pictures on Facebook.
Excellent. We'll get back to car interiors and stereos in a moment or so, but I want to also introduce Mike from BG Printing. So let's talk about the exterior of your car. A lot of people now doing wraps, and not just race car wraps, but people bringing their vehicles in to have wraps done. And those wraps start at what sort of price?
I would typically expect to pay for a full wrap somewhere around $2,000.
All right, and that's a pretty decent price.
Hey, I mean, it's scalable. We've done things down to $30. That's really kind of stepped up the appearance of a car.
I like that even more. All right, we're going to talk more about spring freshening your car with Peter and Mike when we get back. We're going to take a break for the CBS News. You're listening to Test Miles on FM News 101 KXL. I'm Nick Miles.
Throw it in neutral and coast in with testmiles.com. Favorite us, tweet us, friend us, love us, all at testmiles.com.
Live from our studios in downtown Portland, a Sunday morning, it's America's Car Radio Show. We'd like to thank you for being part of the Car Nation. For more fun facts and information about cars, join us on our Facebook page at TestMilesENT, which stands for entertainment.
Here's a fun fact you can impress your friends with. The first Lamborghini 350 GTV didn't even have an engine when they unveiled it at the Turin Auto Show.
All right, I think that's probably par for the course on a lot of those vehicles. They originally didn't have engines when they got unveiled. In fact, I know when Saab unveiled their first convertible, they didn't even know who was going to supply the top for the convertible. So, and then, of course, Toyota and Acura have the famous thing where the executive announces something at the auto show and the staff go, oh? We are? All right, we better get on that then. All right, so we're talking about freshening up your car for spring. Peter Clover is here from the Mobile West at their new location. They've now moved to MLK in their fabulous new luxurious offices. And Mike is here from where is it? Battleground Printing or BG Printing is not actually in Battleground, is it?
We're not anymore. No, we're over in Vancouver. We're off the fourth plane.
All right. So
confusing.
we were talking a little bit about the cost of wrapping before we took the break for the news, and we were talking about it starts at about $30. What do I actually get for $30?
We'll cover you about 2 square feet of material, so not much, but still a little something.
Yeah. So if that would be, what would you do that would sort of encompass for that? Is that a pinstripe?
Yeah, you could do maybe a pinstripe on something like that. Maybe we go to the interior of the car and do like a console piece or a wrap, on a steering wheel or something like that. Just some little flavor.
And sort of logos too. You could probably put have your logo cut out or something. That probably costs more than $30, but
depends on the size. Yeah.
Right. Are people doing plain colors in these wraps, or what's the fashion? What do the kids want these days, Mike?
They've really, really embraced the customization. Went from a real commercial feel to paint replacement films now. They're solid colored wrap materials, and they have quite a bit of metallics and razzle to them.
We actually had our Project Discovery, which Peter worked on with us. We did carbon fiber look, not all over, just like on the roof and certain parts of the vehicle. So it looks like my Land Rover is made of carbon fiber now, or some of it anyway. So is that hot? What sort of color? Are people doing crazy colors?
Yeah, there's some crazy colors out. There's some new, Avery Dennison just released Giovanna Rim's signature series colors. So a lot of people getting behind the wrap industry and just kind of introducing new crazy metallics, pearlescence, chrome wrapping films. And
Yeah, I remember Bugatti Veyron had a chrome vehicle at one point. And one thing, in the Northwest wouldn't be so bad for it. I'm not sure I want to put a wrap on with chrome in California. I just see the sun beating down on that every day. It might not look as good 2 or 3
Some
weeks
of
into
them
it.
are pretty sexy, though. I mean, we just did a little mini truck with a big, giant, wide chrome racing stripe, matte red, and then a giant red racing stripe up.
Is anybody doing wraps materials that taste of anything yet?
Not that I'm aware of.
I think that's going to be the new
I'd want
thing,
to
like
lick the car,
strawberry wrap. You can just lick the car and say it would taste of strawberry.
So you could be like the Volkswagen and go up and lick your car to claim it.
Yeah, exactly. And it would taste of something.
I don't know if I'd want people just coming up and licking my car to see what it tastes like, though.
Oh, I do. Yeah, think of the photo opportunities. My Instagram account will go to like 20 million almost instantly. All right, Mike. So what?
Little, Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. For me.
Oh, chocolate wrap. Now we're talking. See, this is how to get your significant other or your wife interested in a vehicle. It tastes of chocolate, honey. Just saying. All right, let's get it.
Chocolate and wine, yeah.
Chocolate and wine. All right. Wait, alcoholic lick. All right. We need to stop right there.
Happy wife is a happy life. So
yeah, there you
start
go.
there.
Exactly. Ooh, what about Maker's Mark tasting?
I was going to say.
Oh, that's it. Peter likes that idea. So people are doing wraps now in freshening up your car. Let's say a complete body wrap. Where are we talking about money?
Yeah, that's where you're going to get into somewhere around $2,000.
All right, but that's still not bad. I mean, that's $7,000 for a repaint, $5,000 for a repaint, right? A wrap. That's exactly why we wrapped Project Discovery, is because financially we could make it look how we wanted to, and it was considerably less.
And you get a new car. It's got good factory paint. You put that wrap on, and then all your paint's protected, even from UV exposure. So you take that off.
So how long is a wrap going to last in the Northwest?
We've got stuff that's out there about 4 years old now. So I'd say your average lifespan's in between 2 to 4 years.
Okay, and if you garage your car and you take care of it, it'll last a longer time. All right, Peter. So let's go back to the interior of the car. We've talked about dressing your vehicle up. A complete refresh on the interior, starting at
Complete refresh is going to start, somewhere in the, say, $1,500 range on up, depending on
how much you want to have done
and the materials we use. And
right. I do notice something else you do on the inside. A lot of people don't know, and one of the things that probably surprised me the most when we had Project Discovery done with you is you can actually dye the plastic on the inside of your cars too.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, we can dye the plastics. We can also hydro dip and repaint it.
All right, well, what's hydro dipping?
Hydro dipping is a really cool process where you can go, you will dip solid panels into a floating paint structure, lift it back up, and it will actually paint transfer patterns.
Okay, so
I can go take, plastic plain panels and have them look like wood. I can have them look like carbon fiber.
And is that highly expensive?
That's not too bad.
I mean, what are we talking? 100, 500, 1,000? $500?
Yeah.
For like maybe all the interior panels or just
or like all the trim pieces.
the trim pieces?
Say on an older car would be, some some plastic that's kind of crazed and maybe looked like wood originally-ish 15 years ago, now are completely up to date and bang up to date and maybe a different color scheme or.
It's kind of cool because at some point, manufacturers are going to bring out like changeable pieces on the interior of a car, because it's so cheap now to do it. I mean, you just buy a sleeve basically to go over it, right?
Yeah, and conversations I have with car manufacturers,
right?
Okay, about building vehicles and future tech, is let's build things so they're customizable or updatable, or so that we can update things in 5 years,
right?
Update things in 10 years, change the feel, and build that into the plan.
That's absolutely the best way to do it, and one of the best things. All right, let's, and we're going to do this twice, once now and once at the end of the show. Peter, how do people get hold of you at Mobile West?
The new website went live last Friday.
All right.
mwpdx.us.
Okay.
And it encompasses a completely refreshed website, encompasses all of the things that we do to update and personalize your vehicle.
All right, so all the information there. Mike, what about your website? How do people get hold of you? Is the website the best way?
Yeah, website's pretty good. Stop in, talk to us. We're friendly folks. We don't bite. So come in and see what we're working on.
And give us the address of the website.
It's bgprinting.net.
bgprinting.net and mwpdx.us, which I have.
503-257-0293. Pardon me. Shoot, I just gave you my fax number. Sunday morning.
If you want a fax, that's the fax number. But if you want to talk to people, 503-257-0488 has been our phone number for 40 years. Okay, and obviously Peter couldn't remember it. But you can always contact us here at Test Miles. We'll make sure we can put you in touch with both those guys. When we come back, we're going to talk a little bit more about wraps. We're going to talk about stereo systems and other electronics, which is Peter's specialty, and how he built his name in the business. You're listening to Test Miles and FM News 101 KXL. It's America's Automotive Radio Show. I'm Nick Miles.
It's Test Miles on FM News 101. Test Miles, like NASCAR, but with one right turn. TestMiles.com.
FM News 101 KXL. We're in our final break of Test Miles here, live from our studios in downtown Portland. This is America's Car Radio Show. We'd like to thank you for being part of the Car Nation. For more fun facts about car, of course, join us on our Facebook page.
Here's a fun fact to impress your friends. The Honda Prelude was the very first vehicle to have all our four-wheel drive.
Was it really?
Yes, it was.
That's interesting. I guess if you don't count a Jeep.
Well, it's steering. Sorry.
Oh, four-wheel steering.
Yeah.
All right, there we go. I was going to say four-wheel drive.
Yeah, my bad.
We actually had that in the press car, and the only thing that it was good for was showing it off in the parking lots to show how easily it was to park.
Right. And there's several vehicles now that do it, but they do it for different reasons. Like the Acura RLX has four-wheel steering, but it uses it to corner because it tows in around the corner, so it makes the car more stable. All right, we're going to talk about some of the big news stories of the week and a little bit more about refreshing your car in our last 6 minutes here on the show. So we've had a look at some of the stories. I have been looking at a few of the big stories of the week, and it's kind of interesting. Sales figures came in for April and the first quarter. Big trucks or medium trucks and medium SUVs are the big winners. And if you look at gas prices, the gas prices have actually made a big difference for that. I'm wondering how short-sighted Americans are. 4.6% gains in sales last month, the best April since at least 2005. And a part of that is because gas prices have gone to $2.60 a gallon on average, down from $3.69. But if you run out and you buy something that does 20 miles a gallon, how satisfied are you going to be in a year's time when it's back up to $4 a gallon? That's the big question. So interesting there. Sean, you also picked out a story too.
Kind of going on that, but Land Rover's planning on bringing a diesel engine to their SUVs. I'll get 57 miles to the gallon.
Now, they announced back earlier this year that they were bringing diesel to the U.S. for the first time, and those figures were considerably less than that, over 50 miles a gallon. I do hear that the replacement for the LR2, which is called the Land Rover Discovery Sport, is now on the list, as well as the what's the Range Rover called, the small Range Rover?
Evoque.
The Evoque's on the list as well to get.
Yeah, I mean, it's not a high-powered diesel engine, but Rovers aren't made for the speed or anything. It's just great for off-road capability.
AAA was saying also this year that that road trips are going to be up considerably. Because of the gas prices. Brad, did you also find an interesting story in the news this week?
I found something interesting that's happening in California, but it could be rolled out nationally. It's a California bill, AB 287, that's going to try and get a little structure to the recalls. So what's happened in the past is car dealers have been responsible for all the new cars with all the recalls, but then when they hit the used car market, there is no legislation that requires anybody to tell or even fix those vehicles. So they have a three-step program with this bill. It's illegal to sell or rent even vehicles that are used without telling the consumer. New car dealers, new car franchise dealers have to repair them. And there's even a segment where the automakers are going to be required to pay the dealers for the cost of storing the cars when available.
Right. Here's my problem I have with that. One of the issues I have is it's going to be illegal to sell a car without telling the... Now, I think they should make them fix them, because in my mind, what ends up happening is I sign so many papers when I buy a car. I honestly have no clue what I'm signing, because they give me like 8 stacks of paperwork to fill out. And it could be in there saying, by the way, this car has 9 recalls on it, and they could just fill. I mean, physically telling me, what does that mean? I just signed a piece of paper.
You just sign off your rights
right,
at that point.
Exactly.
Most of the car manufacturers come out and said this is about a half fix and it needs to be done on a federal level. And to your point, talking about that it needs to be fixed rather than just discussed.
Right. Well, California, of course, leads the way in what happens with the automotive industry, especially because of the Clean Air Act. So a lot of things that happen in California get drifted out to at least 6 to 8 states, and then usually to the rest of the United States. Jen, did you have a story that you found?
I did. And the one I found this week was that Tesla is now offering a wall-mounted battery pack to charge your car with.
So a lot of car companies are actually now allowing cars to have wall-mounted chargers inside of them. Is Tesla just behind the mark? Is electricity behind the mark? I mean, for me, too, everyone's talking about now, I think Audi just came out with a whole bunch of new ways to make clean-burning diesel out of water, and algae and those type of things. Is electricity just way gone? Is it over? I mean, those are things. I actually think that Tesla doesn't have a good business model to survive. So it's kind of an interesting conundrum. All right, in the last few minutes, let's talk quickly more about refreshing your car. So we've talked about interior, exterior. Peter, a stereo system, anything from starting price of
$150 on up. I mean, refreshing your car. You refresh the smartphone in your pocket every other year, at least. Take the car that you have and let's go update it so you can play modern media.
You can attach your cell phone and play the music from it. You can have Apple CarPlay. You have all that stuff, don't you?
All of that stuff. And that's an important part about making you happy with the car you already own.
Making her happy?
Making you happy with the car that you already own.
Right.
It's a good life choice.
I know exactly how your life runs, Peter.
Yeah. Exactly.
If you don't make her happy, you're in trouble.
Absolutely.
So Apple CarPlay already been out, even though it's being stalled by manufacturers to be put inside vehicles.
Sure, but the Alpine CarPlay radio made hand in hand with Apple is one of the best-selling pieces in our store.
What about 90% of the world that has Androids? Anything for them?
That is coming. Pioneer has launched Apple or Android Car
Okay,
for a couple
so
of
it's
their
coming.
models, but I'm personally waiting for the Kenwood piece that should arrive within the next 45 days.
Give us your website one more time.
mwpdx.us.
If you want interiors done on your car or sound systems, Mike at BG Printing, how do people get hold of you?
bgprinting.net or find us on Facebook. Like
All right.
Dan.
And you can
Yes.
refresh your car inside and out with both of these guys. They'd be happy to help you, quote you, and also do the work. I've seen Peter with his overalls on in the shop. You're listening to Test Miles, America's automotive radio show. We'll be back next week. Until then, please visit our website at testmiles.com and keep your pedal to the metal. Until next week, I'm Nick Miles.
Throw it in neutral and coast in with testmiles.com.